Welcome to a place for healthy conversations. I am Ms. Power, and I'm going to give you guys a moment to come in. Had a little technical difficulty getting started, but I'm going to give everybody opportunity to log on and come on in. Once you get in, just type something in the comments and let me know where you're watching from. If you're a first timer, put out there, this is my first time. If this is your first time, don't forget to subscribe and like and click the bell so that you'll get notifications for the next time that I upload a live or a regular video. While I'm waiting for everybody to come in, I am going to read something really quick just to kind of get us started and give more people a chance to log on. Okay, so I'm going to read the Serenity Prayer. And it says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking, as Jesus did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it. Trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. Amen. All right, guys. So I am super, super excited to be with you guys again tonight. For those of you that are new, I am Ms. Empower, and this is a place for healthy conversations. Um, we talk about topics that I think that may be important in our community. I also ask my listeners if they are interested that they can send me a topic that they would like for me to discuss. They can send it to my Facebook, which is Kim Empower, my Instagram, which is Ms. Empower. They can email me at msempower@gmail.com, and that is MZZ as in zebra, EMPOWER @gmail.com. And that's how you can reach me. So tonight we are talking about what, guys? Did you all read the description? We are talking about knocking those emotional walls down. So the title says, let's talk about knocking that wall down, because I'm talking specifically to you, okay? And we're talking about knocking down emotional walls. That is an important topic, and it was on my mind so heavy this week that I said, last week. So this is what I decided we were going to talk about today. So, first of all, let me ask, I'm sorry. Hey, Real. Thanks for logging on with me tonight. How many of you have an emotional wall built up around you, or you have in the past? And so while I'm waiting for you guys to comment, I definitely have had an emotional wall built up around me at some point in my life. It has been more than one occasion. Um, Okay, Real, I appreciate you logging on for the time that you're here. Um, so I have definitely been a person that has had a wall built up around me. And so I know what I went through. I know how I felt. I know the consequences behind having a wall built up. So I said, let me log on and talk to my audience about that emotional wall and how important it is to knock it down. And so, one thing I'm going to say, a lot of times we are waiting for somebody to come and knock the wall down for us. when you have the power to knock it down yourself. So we're going to get in detail with that. Hey, Ashley, thanks for logging on with me tonight. So I just want to say hello to everyone, even if I can't see who you are out there. Thank you for taking the time to log on with me tonight for Let's Talk About It Tuesday. You know, you could have been anywhere else tonight, but you took the time to log on and stay with me. So thank you. If you have not subscribed to my page, please go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell so that every time that I upload a video or I do a live, you'll get notifications for that. Okay, great, Ashley. So this is good timing for you. So why do we build emotional walls? Why do we do that? We do it for protection. But what happens when we build an emotional wall? We create barriers in our life. How many of you already knew that, though? You create barriers in your life. And please, if you want to comment or ask a question, go ahead and put that in the comments as we go along, because I really prefer for it to be a discussion. But I'll keep talking until somebody says something. Then I'll read your comment. But yes, it creates barriers when you build that emotional wall, right? So the different barriers that you can create is, I'm sorry, guys. Those barriers, I'm sorry, they come from past hurts, right? Traumas, rejection. Like you don't want anybody to reject you again. You know, you don't want to be hurt again, regardless of what the hurt was. You know, it didn't necessarily have to be a heartbreak, like a romantic relationship. You know, it could be a job, you know, and maybe you lost your job, or maybe things are just different on your job now. There are so many things that can be created from that. And it's so important that we think about what we're actually doing when we build that wall. We build it to protect, but we're creating a problem, right? We're creating a big problem for ourselves. What are the signs of emotional walls? So you can put in the comments if you would like, but I'll go ahead and start out. Um, you usually don't have you're not able to be vulnerable with anyone if when you have those emotional walls built up. You can't even have eye contact in an intimate situation because you refuse, because you don't want to get so caught in or caught up with this person, because you're not emotionally available. You refuse to make yourself available because of your past hurts, right? Um, Expressing emotions is definitely a challenge for you. You definitely don't want to express how you really feel. Like you may be feeling like you really are into this person, but you refuse to tell that person that because you feel like if you do that, then you're going to get hurt again, you know, or they may not feel the same way about you. So you may get rejected, right? So it's that fear of opening yourself up to someone. It's not just with romance though. So I will say this. I was in the process of purchasing a house so many years ago. My children were really small. And this would have been my first house. And the week of closing, the day of closing, they decided not to give me the house. So that was a big rejection for me. And it made it hard for me to ever want to try to go through that process again because I didn't want to be rejected again. Right. So I built this wall up and I was like, I don't need to buy a house, you know, I can rent a house, you know, and no matter what somebody told me about the benefits of buying a house, I didn't want to hear it because I had built up this wall and decided I don't need to go through that process again, you know. And it was only because of the initial hurt from the first time of me trying to do that. So that can be with a lot of things. Maybe you tried to start a business, and in the process of starting your business, something happened and you weren't able to start that business. So you backed off. I don't need my own business, you know. I could find me a good job somewhere, make it, you know, you have all these excuses why you would never try it again because you're fearful of having the same outcome that you had the first time. Um you are fearful of commitment, so you refuse to have any type of commitment with anybody. I have been through that before as well, where I didn't want any commitment. And if a person looked like they were getting that type of close to me, and it didn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship, it could have just been a regular friendship. And I've always been that way. And I hated that. You know, that was something I had to really work on about myself, because the fear of hurt, you know, you've been through so much hurt in your life, you didn't want to be hurt again. And you felt like if I give this person all of me as a friend and they hurt me, then, you know, I don't know how I'm going to react with that again or how I'm going to feel. And why should I have to go through that? So, um, you have no accountability when you are um not available emotionally. You have that wall built up. You have no accountability. You refuse to say that the reason why this can't work out is because I'm not emotionally available and I refuse to give you all of what you want, all of what I think that you need, or all of what I think I should be giving you. I refuse to do that. And I refuse to say that I'm not doing it. I refuse to do that because I'm not going to be accountable for my actions. That's a person that is that is not available emotionally, and they have those walls built up, right? Um, those people that are not emotionally available, they have poor listening skills. They absolutely don't care about what you're talking about. It absolutely means nothing to them because they're really not concerned and they don't want to get that type of close to you. So they're not really listening. They're just in it for whatever they're in it for, but they're not going to give you whatever it is that you are needing in this relationship with them. Um, if you want to add some more, please do put those in the comment and I will address those as well. So, what are some things people say when they are emotionally unavailable? Well, while you're thinking of that, I will tell you four things that they do. They defend, they deflect, they deny, and they diminish. So, just based on those four, give me an example of something that they would say. If somebody is defending, diminishing, denying, or deflecting, what do you think they're saying? So, I'll say something. I don't need it. I don't need anyone. I could do all of this by myself. I don't need anyone. I have all of this. That's an example of doing what? You're in denial that you don't need anybody, right? Um I can't trust anyone, to be honest, right? So if you're so focused on that, you're diminishing the whole entire thing. It's like, I don't know. I don't need this. I don't have to have it. Um, I kind of said that already. I don't have, or I don't need to share real life conversations with anybody. We all need to talk to somebody sometimes. We all need somebody to talk to. I talk to God a lot, but I still need somebody physically to talk to. If you have any examples, you can put them in there. You can do that throughout tonight's segment. Um, so I just want to say, when you do that, when you build that emotional wall, you really keep yourself from getting where it is that you really want to go. It may be something you're passionate about, but that wall is right here and you can't get past it because you refuse to knock it down. Just knock it down, push it on out the way, and start moving. Start believing in who you are and have the confidence and the self esteem needed to move forward. And it takes work. And I'll be honest about that. It takes work. It's not something that happens overnight. I remember when I was going through it, I was asking God, like, why me? Like, why I just don't, because I had been through it before. And I'm like, I don't want to go through this right now. I don't want to be in my feelings. I don't want to think about this. I don't want to work through this. Why me? And he deposited in my spirit, why not you? Why wouldn't you have to go through this? Who are you that you don't have to go through something? So just go through it, learn what you need to learn, and keep on moving, right? And then it came to me, okay, when I go through it, I can help the people that I pour into. That's something more that I have experienced, and I can help them work through it. So here we are tonight, y'all. Um, how do you knock these walls down? First of all, I'm gonna tell you this. You got to be able to admit that you have an emotional wall up. Because if you can't admit that, then you can't even move up at all. Because then what? You're in denial. You're in denial. If you can't admit that you have an emotional wall up. So you have to do that first. That's the first thing that you have to do. Then, after you do that, you have to think about, what is it that is keeping you from pushing that wall down? What is it? Why is it so important that you have that wall up? Why is it so important to you? This is what I mean. You have to really take out the time to ask yourself these things, and you have to take the time to listen. So that means you need to be in a quiet space by yourself. This is not with the help of other people. These are things that you initially have to do before you can move forward to start getting help from other people, because you have to have already said, I have a wall built up. I don't want this. And I have this wall built up for this particular reason. What was it? Is it a trauma from childhood? Is it from a broken heart? Whether you lost somebody in death, or um, it's up because of a relationship that you no longer have. Maybe you went through a divorce, whatever it is for you. But you have to be able to admit to yourself that this is what it is, so that you can get the help that you need to move forward. You have to know that initially. So that's important. But you have to be honest with yourself, because remember, you're talking to yourself, so you don't have to try to sugarcoat anything to you. You don't have to make it sound good. Just tell the ugly truth, whatever it is. Admit that. So that means being honest. And I'll be honest about that. It's not the easiest thing to do sometimes. There was one day I was laying there praying, and I said, you know what, God, I don't even know. I don't know right now. I'm gonna have to come back later, because I don't even know what to say to you right now about my situation, or what I'm feeling, or why this wall is here. I don't even know if I'm ready to say it out loud, because sometimes we're just not there yet that we're ready to say it out loud. Because if we say it out loud, then it exists for real, right? So take that time to think about what it is and be honest with yourself. Um, you have to ask yourself, why do I need these protections though? Why? I know this is the reason why I'm going through it, but why do I need a protection? That is another question for you. Um, Allow yourself to release these emotions in a safe place. Sometimes we actually do need somebody that we can release to, but make sure that it's somebody that you know that you can trust with this information. Don't trust everybody with your information. It's important that you know that you can trust this person. Okay. And so we're not even talking about counseling at this point, but we're just saying like you need a safe place. Whether it's just you with yourself one on one at that time, and then eventually you feel safe talking to somebody else. Um, Let me say this, and I don't know if I included this in my description. It may be out there though. Allow yourself to take in as much positivity. So, YouTube is full of it, okay? They have a lot of positive videos out here. And the one that I always recommend is Soak Stream. So they have a lot of positive um, videos where it's like a lot of positive scriptures that's going in your mind. I've talked about this before when I talked about meditation. If you watched my meditation video, um, there are two meditation videos. One just talking about meditation, just telling you the importance and just how to go about getting started. And then there's a guided meditation video as well, that walks you through the whole entire process, right? So, Soak Stream is one thing that I would listen to every morning and every night before I went to bed, because it poured in the positivity to cover the negativity that I might have been holding at that time. Because if you pour the positivity in, it makes it easier for you to move forward into coming out of that and knocking that wall down. Because what happens is it's something negative that happened to you. So because it's so negative, you're stuck in that negative space and you're not allowed to like move out of it because you haven't allowed yourself to at that time. And a lot of times it's just dealing with the hurt behind whatever it is that made you place that wall up. And I'm here to say I'm not here to judge because I've dealt with that. So I truly understand. But I am here to encourage you, empower you, inspire you to knock that wall down so that you can move forward to whatever it is that you're passionate about. You deserve to do that. Um, so yes, make sure you're pouring those positive things in. And once you do that, and I'm going to tell you how powerful that is, because I don't care what the situation is that you're going through. If you go through that process as I described, at least listen to it twice a day. Listen to it in the morning, listen to it at night before you go to bed. And there were just times that I would just lay across my bed and just listen to it. So if I fell asleep taking a nap, it was playing in my spirit. And so no matter how negative the situation was, my thought process wasn't negative. My thought process was positive, and I was pushing my way through to be able to knock the wall down. Counseling and coaching is definitely a great idea once you start pouring the positivity in, because you want people to be able to actually help you through your process. And that's very important. That once you get there to counseling and coaching, you're in a more of a positive state. Even though you're in a positive state, it doesn't mean that you're not hurting anymore. So when you get there, that you're positive, but they'll be able to give you the other tools that you need to push on through and just knock the wall down. Totally. Um, So while you are continuing to allow the positivity to flow through, Work on the mental and emotional well-being. Let me say that again, well-being, guys. Work on that, which is your self-confidence, your self-esteem, and being optimistic. When you're optimistic, it makes it where you're a little more open to having a great day. I had a really good friend, or I have a really good friend that has really been a blessing to me, and sometimes I question why they're even being so nice to me, because I really don't deserve it. Um, but they have poured into me in so many ways that they probably don't even realize it, but I really do thank them for that. Just saying all these positive things to me, and they recommended that I start reading the Serenity Prayer. And let me tell you how God works. So they recommended that, but that week on Monday, because I think they might have said it to me on a Saturday or a Sunday, but on Monday, I got the Serenity Prayer in the mail from my church on a postcard, right? So it was like, he was like, here, this is confirmation that this is what you need to be reading. You got to keep pouring into you. And he will definitely send people to help you, through the process. Journaling. Journaling is another really good way of releasing those things that you're holding inside that's causing that wall to be built up. Whether you're typing it out on a computer, on your phone, or you have like a little book to write in, or some paper. I even created a box, so I write on some paper and put it in the box, and then you can come back next year and read through all those different things and just see what it is that you were going through, and then see how far that God brought you from that situation. I find so much joy in that, because I think the first time I did it, I think it was last year. No, the year before. I did it in 2020. So in 2021, I actually took stuff out and read it. And so many of my blessings, or my prayers, were answered, and I received so many blessings. And then there were some things that weren't answered at the time. So, just keep track of everything that you pray for. Um, Allow yourself to embrace fun activities. So, after going through probably weeks of being solo, being by yourself, because of that emotional wall that you have built up, that you don't feel like you want to talk to people, you don't feel like you want to be around anybody, you just kind of want to deal with things on your own. But you finally get to that place because you've been pouring into yourself with the positivity, right? Through SoapStream, right? And you've been meditating, right? I started out meditating for 5 minutes twice a day, maybe three, just depended. And then I got to the point it was 2 times a day. So it would be once in the morning and once at night before I went to sleep. And it would be for like 10 minutes each. And then I started going to the park, and I would get near some water and sit Indian style and meditate that way. That has really helped me um, come through whatever it was that I was experiencing. And it just put me in such a better place, right? So now that you've been doing all those things, and you need to be out and sociable, right? So for me, with COVID going on, I decided to have a party at my house. And I invited some of my girlfriends, some of my daughter's girlfriends. Like, I didn't want a lot of people here, trying to be very careful. And I had invited a lady who does massage therapy. And we had that. We had food, we had drinks. So it was a really good time for me. And I really did need that, because I had just really went through something. So now I was ready to start coming out and being around people more instead of just being by myself. So other things you can do, you could go roller skating. Like, that's my thing right there that I'm trying to slide back into. Um, you could go to yoga classes where you're around other people. You don't have to do things by yourself, but you can find things that you can do to be around other people, because now it's that time, right? Because you've done everything. Um, so take time to notice, where you are. That's just how different of a person that you are, because you're going to notice a major difference in just how you think, how you take things in, how you, when somebody says something, how you receive it and how you respond to them. It's going to be totally different. Even if they came at you in a certain way, you're just going to be like, okay, it's not worth it. It's not even worth me, matching their energy or their vibe. I don't have to be on that at all. So that's important as well, guys, that you take the time to do the things that are going to keep you healthy emotionally and mentally, and of course physically, right? um One other thing that the emotional wall keeps you from being or doing, it keeps you from being strong, and it keeps you from growing. You want to still be able to grow. We should still be growing. Just because you're an adult now doesn't mean that you don't have any room to grow. We all have room to grow, to become better people, to handle things differently, to take care of ourselves in a better way. Um, so that is what I think that you guys should do to help to knock that wall down. Are there any comments or are there any questions on anything that I said? Don't create barriers for yourself because of the hurt that somebody caused you. Don't believe that you can't love again. Don't, just whatever it is that you built that wall up for, it's time for you to start thinking in a whole different way. So you have to retrain your mind to start thinking differently. And I always say this. Um, Anything that you try for 30 days becomes a habit, and it becomes what you're used to. It's in your routine. So just try, pouring that positivity into your mind for 30 days and see the change within yourself. So for me, it was like a little over 2 months, and it has made me so much of a better person in my thought process, just everything, the way I talk to my children. Um, and when you take in so much positivity, when you're sitting down talking to your children, you're actually a better listener. And you can receive more to pour into them. So it doesn't necessarily have to be your children. It could just be people that normally come around you. You can be a better person for them. And if they see the change in you, they're going to be like, wow, what did he or she do? You know, Let me see what I need to do, because I need to work on myself. We don't all the time admit when we need to work on something within ourselves. But for me, years ago, I was just like, you know what, Lord, I don't know why I'm so angry all the time. Why am I just every little thing? I don't care. Somebody could have said something positive. I promise you, I could find the negative in that positive thing every time. And they could have been saying something to try to help me, but I saw it as negative. And that went on for so long, and I was tired of it. And when I prayed about it, he started showing me, and I started working on it. And so, just like this, you have to continue working on yourself and keep pushing forward so you can knock the wall down, because that wall was never meant to be built around you at all. It was never meant to be there. You are amazing. You are worthy. You are deserving of it all. Just whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you desire, you're worthy. So believe in yourself and do that for you. Do that for you. Are there any comments? I so appreciate you guys for logging on with me today. Um, Next week's message is definitely going to be on how to break habits. So that was a request from one of my listeners. And so it will happen on next Tuesday. We'll talk about how to break habits because it's important that we break habits that are not needed. It's a fly in here, y'all. I can't. Okay, y'all pray for me and this fly. Have to get my son on it. But absolutely, guys, we actually have to work on ourselves in every aspect. You know, if there's some other topic that you think that you want me to talk about, we definitely can do that. Please make sure you send it to Facebook at Kim Empower or Instagram at Ms. Empower or email me at msempower@gmail.com. So let me just make sure I didn't leave off anything that I was meaning to say. So I think I said that. That when we be, I know I said when we build walls, we create emotional barriers. I think I said that in the beginning. Um, so it's so important, guys, that you believe in yourself. Hey, Felicia, girl, thanks for logging on with me. Um, so I'm actually getting ready to wrap up the segment for tonight. And just wanted to know if anyone else had any comments on what we just talked about. And also, the link for SoakStream should definitely be in the description if you want to click on that and try that. I really do recommend it. Um, my meditation, my guided meditation video is definitely out there for you guys. And please share it, with your friends. Maybe somebody needs that. I was definitely one with the meditation. I think I tried it some years ago and I would always fall asleep and I just couldn't understand how people did it. But when I tried it this year, like it was everything for me. I definitely didn't go to sleep. And in my video on meditation, I definitely tell you some different things that you can do. And so you definitely want to make sure you're keeping positive thoughts in your mind the whole entire time. You have to have your mind focused on something while you're meditating, and that keeps you from going to sleep. So that's the secret, okay? But please make sure you're doing everything that you can to take care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, in every way, spiritually. Make sure you're doing whatever you need to do to take care of you because, like I said before, you're amazing and you're worthy. You're worthy of that. You deserve to have the best life, right? And then to get there, you have to put in the work. And like I was saying, I absolutely didn't want to. I didn't want to go through what I, had to go through. I really didn't. But because I did and I did the work, I just can't even describe how I feel right now. I feel better than I did before I went into that situation. I will say that. I feel so much better than I have felt before. So that work did the job, and that's why I encourage you guys to definitely check out the meditation video and continue pouring into yourselves, guys. Do the work for you because like I said, you're worthy. So, guys, with that being said, I don't see any comments out here. This has been a place for healthy conversations with Let's Talk About It Tuesday. And I am Ms. Empower. I want you guys to have a really great night. Have a great weekend and see you guys next Tuesday for how to break those habits. Talk with you then. Have a great one.